Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After the fate of the Elder Gods tournament last week gave us Haster as our opponent for Christmas in Arkham this year, we're back to another new game on the channel, and our last both new game and game period for the month. We're moving to become gods once more as we play Spirit Island from Greater Than Games. This time we're trying to drive out native settlers from our island by playing different spirits with different powers. We're not doing any special scenarios tonight, so let's move down to our spirits and see what we're playing. This is the spirit I normally go to when I play Spirit Island at my local game store. It's Lightning Swift Strike. So as you can see, each of our spirits will have different growth configurations on their cards on their boards for what they get to do. In our case, Lightning Swift Strike has an option to reclaim cards, gain a power card, and gain energy, or add a presence within range 2 of previous presence and range 0. So it sounds like making an instant sacred site, which is what having two presence on a land means. Or this one lets you add a presence 1 away and gain 3 energy. Then we've got presence showing what you can do for energy plays and card plays during your turn. Then each spirit also has innate powers and special rules. So Lightning Swift Strike's special rule is Swiftness of Lightning. For every air element you have, you may use one slow power as if it were fast, whether it's power cards or your innate powers, which for Lightning Swift Strike, its innate power is Thundering Destruction. It triggers on a slow, which is what the turtle means, within range 1 from a sacred site. If you have 3 fire and 2 air, you get to destroy a town. 4 and 3, you may instead destroy a city. 5 fire, 4 air, and a water, also destroy a city or a town. 5 fire, 5 air, and 2 water, also destroy another town or city. Then a little bit of backstory. The child of a passing storm spirit, Lightning Swift Strike danced off the shores many ages ago, and liked it enough to stay. It spends much of its time resting and quiet, waking up to dance through the sky when the winds blow strong. It only concerns itself occasionally with the Dahan, which are the natives, usually appearing out of nowhere to send them off on some obscure errand. The Dahan cooperate, partly out of a wary respect for Lightning's power, but as much for the sake of the Thunder Speaker, Lightning's child, who is a patron and ally of their people. So we'll go ahead and cover all of these up on the board. Admittedly, I'm also still kind of learning this game from a solo standpoint, so any tactical advice would be welcome, but once again, be respectful in the comments, please. Then we'll take a look at Lightning Swift Strike's starting powers. First up, we have Harbingers of the Lightning, and the way we determine if we have an element is if it's in a power we play. This one gives a fire and an air. We can play it at slow, within range 1, and target any land. Push up to 2 Dahan, and 1 fear if you pushed any Dahan into a land with a town or a city. That's what that symbolism is, or symbology. And I forgot to mention the cost of the power. It actually costs 0 power. Then we've got Raging Storm, which costs 3 power, but it gives you a fire, an air, and a water. Triggers it slow, range of 1 and any from any land, 1 damage to each invader. Then we have Shatter Homesteads costing 2, gives a fire and an air, slow within range 2 of a sacred site and target any land. 1 fear, destroy 1 town, and Lightning's Boon costing 1, it gives a fire and an air, triggers it fast, target any spirit. Target spirit may use up to 2 slow powers as if they were fast this turn. We'll see Lightning Swift Strike's setup in a minute, but as you can see, we've got the leftmost spaces on the presence and card play track, on both the presence tracks, covered up. We'll take presence from here and put it out on the board. Well, similar to Terra Mystica and games like that, we'll always take from left to right. So that's Lightning Swift Strike setup. Now let's go meet its partner tonight. Well, partner tonight. Lightning Swift Strike tonight is teaming up with River Surges and Sunlight. We can see the track is slightly different. Reclaim 1 on this track basically means you just reclaim a card that you've played earlier. Growth options for this one are reclaim cards, gain a power card, and gain an energy. Gain a presence within range 1 of a presence, and add a presence within range 1. Or gain a power card, and add a presence within range 2. We can see the energy trap, return track, and the card plays. Special rules for surges in sunlight. Your presence in wetlands count as sacred sites. So basically every presence you have in a wetlands counts as having 2. Innate powers are massive flooding. At slow, within range 1 of a sacred site, but you can target any land. One I believe that is... I wish there was a elemental quick reference. Maybe there... let me just see if there's... There should be a quick reference for the elements somewhere. We'll just pretend that that's sun. So 1 sun and 2 water pushes an explorer or a town. 2 sun and 3 water. Instead 2 damage, push up to 3 explorers and towns. And then 3 sun, 4 water, 2 stone. Instead 2 damage to each invader. We'll cover the starting tracks for... We should be all set there. Perfect. Okay, starting powers for River Surges and Sunlight. First up we have Wash Away, costing 1 energy. Giving you water and stone, slow, range of 1 from a presence, and any land. Push up to 3 explorers or towns. Then we have Boon of Vigor, giving a sun, a water, and a leaf. If you it's fast, targeting any spirit. If you target yourself, gain 1 energy. If you target another spirit, they gain 1 energy per power card they played this turn. Then we have River's Bounty, giving a sun, light, and a claw, or a sun, water, and a claw. Cost 0, triggers at slow speed, range 0, so within their own land, and any. Gather up to 2 Dahan. If there are now at least 2 Dahan, add 1 Dahan and gain an energy. And Flash Floods, giving a sun and a water. Triggers at fast speed, range 1, and target any. 1 damage, and if the target land is coastal, plus 1 damage. That'll make more sense when we move up to the board, which we're not quite ready to do yet. We actually need to move over to the fear board as well. This is our fear board, which there are a few things we need to look at here. So first up, we've got the fear deck over here, which can potentially change our win conditions depending on how fast we can move through that. Right now we're on terror level 1, so in order to win the game here, we'd have to kill everything. In addition, you have to kill everything. We've also got a fear pool, which starts off with 4 fear per player. Every time we move all the fear down there, we'll move everything back, but then we'll gain a fear card to be used during the next... What phase is that? During the fear effect phase, during the invader phase. Then we've got a healthy island, which has got some number of blight on it. It's always 2 per player. In this case, we're playing as if we were playing with 2 players. So 2 blight per player, which starts with 4. Any blight removed from here, the board returns here. If there's ever no blight here, flip this card. Then we've got the exploration deck, which is going to indicate what the invaders are doing. We'll come back to that in a minute, though. Actually, we'll be coming back to that pretty soon, I think, because with that, we're just about set to move over to the board, and we'll take a look at our initial setup. We've got Lightning Swift Strike doing everything in red, set up over here in this number 6 Sands with a Sacred Site already. And then River Surges and Sunlight set up over here in the highest numbered Wetlands with its essentially Sacred Site, because remember, in Wetlands, you get a Sacred Site for free. We've got our towns out here, cities, Blight, and we've got these Dahan that will come into play during the Ravage effects. We'll come back to them, though. But I think we're just about set, so to finalize setup, the investigators will take initial explore. They'll be exploring initially on the sands. So we'll place an investigator. We'll place an explorer in each sands. So they get a sand, so they get an explorer, explorer, and explorer. The explorers explore anywhere they have an adjacent city or town on the matching land. So I also want to point out that this is what would be considered as a coastal land, which could affect river surges and sunlight if I decide I want to try to deal with that, which I could conceivably do. Might not be the best thing in the world to do. Well, maybe if I decide to tag team, well, I was going to say if I decide to tag team it, I could probably take it out, but I probably can't. So, we'll have to give that a little bit of thought how we want to, if we want to deal with that right away. But with that, I think we're all set to get into this playthrough, so let's drop in and see what we can do with these explorers. My initial thought coming into this game, coming into this first turn, is that this is probably going to end up being a lost cause because we really can't reach it right now. So I think our better play might be to try to deal with this mess. It's going to take me a lot to get to it, but I think that's within range 2 of a sacred site, which my sacred site for lightning is right here. So I could get to that conceivably. Am I going to be able to deal with it at fast speed though? I think the answer is yes, actually, but I'm going to need a lot of energy to do it. So, I think with that in mind, River Surges and Sunlight's going to pick this option to gain an energy, which will effectively be 2, because that spirit's got 1 energy uncovered. We're not able to reclaim anything, but we will gain a power card. We'll go for a minor power right away. 1, 2, 3. The way you gain powers in this game is you draw 4 powers and you choose 1 of them to keep. But if you draw a major power, you also have to forget a minor power, which can be either one of the minor powers you've accumulated throughout the game or one of your base powers for your spirit. So first, minor power for River Surges and Sunlight. Quicken the Earth's struggles, giving Moon, Fire, Stone, and Claw. Can work at fast, within range 0 of a sacred site, but target any. Either 1 damage to each town or city, or defend 10, which could come into play during the Blight phase. That might be useful. Next up, Shadows of the Burning Forest. That gives Moon, Fire, and Leaf. At slow, target range 0, but the land has to have invaders. 2 fear. If target land is a mountain or a jungle, push 1 explorer and 1 town. Next up, Dark Entangled Woods, giving a Moon, Stone, and Leaf. Works at fast, range 1, but target land any. 2 fear, and if the target land is a mountain or a jungle, defend 3. And Call to Isolation, giving a Sun, Air, and a Claw. Speed fast, range 1, target land with Dahan. Push 1 explorer or town per Dahan, or push 1 Dahan. Which power do I want of those? I don't think anything is really going to help me deal with this immediate mess. With this mess I'm looking at, actually, did I kind of screw myself there? Because am I even going to be able to reach that now? Within range 1. No, I'm not going to be able to reach that, actually. So I kind of... You know what we can do instead? We'll pretend... actually, I need the energy to do that. So yeah, I kind of did screw myself either way. I almost feel like we just work on generating fear at this point. So I think we're going to keep... I think we're going to keep Shadows of the Burning Forest. We'll keep that as our power. As for Lightning's Swift Strike, we need to get that spirit into some energy pronto. So, I think with that growth in mind, I'm going to add a presence and gain +3 energy. So where do I want this presence? I can put it within range 1. I think I'll put it down here. And I'll gain 3, a total of 4 energy. And Lightning can actually play 2 cards per turn right now. River Surges can only play 1. Let's go for River Surges. What do we want to do here? I think if we get... we're not really going to be able to deal with this mess as cleanly as I hoped we would. So I think... do we just try to stop the... Unfortunately, we can't reach the town and the explorer over here to do anything with that. So I think we just... I think we just work on generating a little bit of fear. So we'll plan on playing out Shadows of the Burning Forest. And then for Lightning's Swift Strike, I think we'll just pay... I think we'll just pay 2 energy for Shatter Homesteads. Right. So with that in mind, all our powers have been played and paid for. So now we go to fast powers, which because of the air, Lightning can use Shatter Homesteads as a fast. Within range 2 of a Sacred Site, she'll deal 1... Lightning Swift Strike will deal 1 fear, and then destroy a town, which will take out this town because it's the only one we can reach, to generate another fear. Lightning doesn't have enough to trigger its innate powers, and River Surges doesn't do anything until slow anyway. So, that will bring us into Blighted Island effects, which the island is still healthy for the time being. We don't have any fear effects yet. We don't do any ravaging. We are building on sands, though. So this sands will build a town. This one will build a town. This one will build a town. And this one will build a city. That's going to turn into a huge problem. Okay, then we advance those. And our next explore action is in the jungles. So once again, everything adjacent to a city or a town gets an explorer. So this is going to start to get out of control pretty quickly. Explorer, explorer, and explorer. Okay, now we'll work at... And then we advance the invader cards. I kind of shortcutted that a little bit. Slow powers, so we'll target our own wetlands, which will just generate another 2 fear. And then that's all handled there. And then time passes, so we essentially go into our next turn. So we'll discard everything. Anything that expires at end of turn would expire now. We'll explain how the Ravage works when we get into our first Ravage. But we're into round 2, and we are going to have a big problem on our hands over in that sands. Basically now. All of our sands are going to blight, except the only one I can stop is out here potentially. Actually, no, I can't stop that unless I reclaim cards. But that seems like a really bad play right now. Actually, we might have to gain... Oh, joy. Actually, we could... I can't even really protect those. Those Dahan are also basically dead meat, so I can't really stop. I can't do anything about that land right now. Especially not looking at Lightning's hand, and I don't think River's Bounty might be able to at least protect the Dahan. Right. So yeah, we can probably at least protect the Dahan and be able to use them later. So I think with that in mind, River's going to go for a power. Is going to get +2. Is going to add a presence within range 2 and gain another power card. I think we're going to add a presence from the energy track, and we're going to put it here, and we'll go for another minor power. 1, 2, 3. I need one more. 4. There we are. Our next power, our first power we have to look at. Savage Maw Beasts, giving a fire and a claw. Slow, range 1 from a sacred site, target any. If target land is a jungle or a wetland, 1 fear and 1 damage. If you have 3 claw, 1 damage. That's our first choice. Next up. Veil the Night's Hunt, giving a moon, air, and a claw. At fast, range of 2, target land with Dahan. Each Dahan deals 1 damage to a different invader, or push up to 3 Dahan. Actually, well, I'll have to think about how I want to do that. Next up. Call to Migrate, giving a fire, an air, and a claw, working at slow, range of 1, target land any. Gather up to 3 Dahan, push up to 3 Dahan. And Nature's Resilience, taking a stone, giving a stone, light or leaf, and claw. Speed any, or speed fast, sacred range 1 from a sacred site, target land any. Defend 6. If you have 2 water, you may instead remove 1 blight. Unfortunately, that's not really going to help us with the problem of the... That's not going to really help us with this problem down here. Because unfortunately, actually, it would if I move this sacred site. We'll pretend we placed it there instead, because that needs to be a sacred site. Actually, my wetlands are free sacred sites, so we'll pretend I put it there. With that in mind, I think we're going to take the Nature's Resilience, because we can then use that to stop, because then we can use that to stop this. As for Lightning, Lightning Swift Strike is going to... Actually, we might be able to stop this one as well, but there's no way we're going to be able to stop this or this from blighting. Unless we gamble... Actually, we need to take a... I think we do need to reclaim Shatter Homesteads here, and we're going to get another minor power, so that'll be 2 energy. And Lightning is going to go for a minor power as well. First up for Lightning. Elemental Boon. Fast, target any spirit. Target spirit also gains 3 different elements of their choice. If you target another spirit, you also gain the chosen elements. Next up. Lure of the Unknown. Fast, range of 2, target land no invaders. Giving a moon, fire, air, and leaf. Gather 1 explorer or town. Next up. Call of the Dahan Ways. Speed slow, range of 1, target land with Dahan, giving a moon, water, and claw. Replace 1 explorer with a Dahan, and if you have 2 moon, you may instead replace a town with a Dahan. And rouse the trees and stones. Fire, stone, leaf. Speed of 1, range 1 from a sacred site, and target land can't have blight. 2 damage and push an Explorer. Range 1 from a Sacred Site. We actually probably can stop at least this land from blighting. I think we're going to keep Rouse the Trees and Stones. Yep, we're going to keep Rouse the Trees and Stones. So now with powers to pay out, so first we get 2 energy for River. Lightning already got its 2 power. So I think with that in mind, River's going to play out Nature's Resilience and pay out the 1 energy. As for Lightning, land can't have Blight on it. That's within range 1. I think we're going to go... I think we're going to almost clear Lightning out of power, but we're going to stop the Blight from... We're going to stop most of our Blights from happening. Right? Yeah, I think so, for now at least. We're not going to be just up against it here. So first we go into the fast phase. River has 1 fast power. That Nature's Resilience will be Defend 6. We'll put that here. So we're going to defend that land. Then Lightning can use 1 of its powers as a fast. So I think we're going to, because we only had 1 air, so I think with that in mind we're going to use... I think we're going to use Shatter Homesteads as a... We're going to use Shatter Homesteads as fast. So we're going to generate 1 fear and destroy a town, which will generate another fear. So we're working our way toward our first fear card. So that's done, that's done. Now we go to the Invader phase. We have no blighted effects, no fear effects. Ravage time. This only does 1 damage, so the Dahan then fights. The Invader does damage, does 1 damage, which just weakens the Dahan. But then the Dahan fights back and takes out the Explorer. Then this land is going to do 6 damage, and it's going to very much blight. Fortunately, we only ever put out, I believe we only ever put out 1 blight per Ravage, even if we do more damage than needed to blight. I think, where in the world, sequence of play, Ravage, here we go. If 2 or more damage is dealt, so yes, you only add 1 blight per land, so we put 1 here. This one's going to do 3 damage as well, which will be another blight. Then this land is a special case. It would do, the invaders there would do 6 damage, but because we defend 6, the investigators, I did it again. The explorers do nothing there. So the Dahan then fight back, and we can assign, I believe we can assign Dahan damage anytime we want. Or in any way we want. Dahan deals 2 damage to the invaders. Yep. Looks like we can assign it however we want. So, with that in mind, I'm going to take out this city, which will generate 2 fear and give us our first fear card of the game. And that'll move back, and then the 4th damage will take out this... do we want to take out this invader? Yes, I think we do. That's all we can do, really. So we did manage to stop this land from blighting, which is a mild surprise. The explorers will then build on jungles. So this one's going to get a town. This one's going to get a town because there's not a town there. This one gets a town. This one gets a town. So that's done. Discard, advance, and invest in the investigators. I keep wanting to do it. The explorers are exploring. The settlers are exploring. Into the wetlands. So this one's a little bit different. This one won't get as an explorer. This one will. As will this one. And this one gets an Explorer. Okay, so that's all done. Now we have our slow powers, which is rouse the trees and stones from lightning's swift strike, which we can target within range 1 of a sacred site, which I think we'll use to take out this town, which will generate us another fear toward our next fear card. So time passes, everything will move over, and then we'll be into round 3, which is not looking like a good position for us right now, but let's see what we can do here. We're going to be building on wetlands and ravaging jungles this turn, so I'm going to try to stop the jungle ravage if I can. But it does not look like it's going to be easy to do that at all. Actually, we might be able to stop... This won't do anything. I think River will have to stop this one from ravaging. This one might be a little bit harder to stop, but probably doable. That's going to be a tough ask, most likely. Oh, this should have been flipped over as well. So yeah, this one's a lost cause. River's going to have to cover this one. This one isn't going to do anything. This one is... These two are the ones that we need to try to figure something out with. This one's probably a lost cause, though, which means this one... I don't really want to have to reclaim again with lightning, but we might... I don't really feel like we're making much progress here is the problem. I guess, do I reclaim with River? No. Target land is coastal +1 damage. I think we're still going to have the problem here. I could put presence down. This is a tough one. I think we can probably work with this, actually. So, the plan here is going to be... We're ravaging... Yeah, actually, we can put presence down. We'll put presence... We'll put one from each. So we're going to put a... The question is, am I going to end up losing this... I'm probably going to end up losing one of these presents depending on how I do this. So I probably need at least some of this to happen on the fast phase. So I think we're going to put a presence. I think I'm going to put a presence. I'm putting within range 1. Do I try to get to this as a sacred site? And I think the answer to that is probably no. Actually, it might be yes. Thinking ahead. So I think I'll put one down here and here, make that a sacred site, and then then River gets 2 energy, and we'll now have 2 card plays. As for lightning, I think I'm pretty much giving this mess up for lost right now. Question is, did I shoot myself in the foot from being able to deal with this? I was expecting River to be able to deal with that, and I think I did shoot myself in the foot from being able to deal with that. Yeah, so... be fine. We probably just need to make some of this happen during fast. Lightning will, I think, need energy for this. So we're going to use add presence +2 and 0. We want to get more energy out, I think. So I'm going to put a presence down here, and I'm going to put one down here. All right, so that's all of our growth done. Now we need to figure out what cards we're playing. Lightning actually gets 2 more energy. What's River doing this turn? Actually, I think the way we're going to deal with this was... yeah, I think we're going to pay it like this. Because the idea is I'm going to try to push these off into a... I'm going to try to push these guys off into a mountains and then gather Dahan. And maybe gather Dahan... Where would I want to gather Dahan, though? Maybe gather them... We can't gather them here. I was figuring that for Lost. But I'm thinking gather Dahan probably here and just take that out. That could work. I guess. We'll go with that. As for Lightning, Lightning gets 2 card plays, one of which needs to be Lightning's Boon, because this needs to be fast. And we'll take... and then we'll use the Harbingers of the Lightning as well. So, first up we'll use Lightning's Boon during the fast power phase to make both of River's powers fast. Then we'll use Wash Away to push these 2 away to the mountains. Then we'll use River's Bounty to gather up to 2 Dahan. And since there are at least... We're targeting this land to gather Dahan to. So since there are at least 2 Dahan, we'll add another one and gain another energy. We forgot to pay for the 1, so we'll just keep the 1 that we had. Then Harbingers of the Lightning will gather 2 more Dahan in here. And then we'll generate a fear if we pushed any into... Actually, we'll push 1 there, and we'll push 1 here to try to get ready to deal with that mess at some point. And then we do generate another fear, since we pushed into lands with Dahan and cities. That's it for all of our powers, actually. Invader phase, we have no Blighted Island right now. We have our first fear card, though. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Seek Safety. Each player may push 1 explorer into a land with more towns or cities than the land it came from. There's different levels based on what fear we're on. May push 1 explorer into a land with more cities or towns than the land where it came from. Push an explorer. I'm going to push this explorer here with Lightning. And then for River, we'll push here, since sands are now safe for a little while. So that's all done. Now we go to Ravage. Looking at the jungles, that doesn't Ravage. That's going to do 2 damage, which will take out one of these Dahan and blight the land, which will also lose a presence for River, which is unfortunate. But the Dahan will fight back. They'll take out this city, which will generate another fear. Then this land will do 3 damage and Ravage as well, which means we're going to have to flip the card over. So we're flipping Healthy Island over. To Blighted Island, back against the wall. Every spirit phase, each spirit gains +1 energy and +1 card play. 2 blight per player. Any blight removed from the board returns here, and if there's ever no blight here, the players lose. So yes, our backs are very much against the wall here. All right, and then this land does 2 damage and blights as well, so wonderful. That's a bit of a problem there. No Dahan there to fight back. Then we're building on wetlands, so we're building a town here, town here, town here, and this one gets nothing. So now we're exploring coastal lands. So anything adjacent to either one of the coasts is going to get an explorer. So that's going to be a disaster. Which means now we are going to have to deal with this. Explorer, explorer, and explorer. Alright, so that's it for the exploration phase. Right. We advance the invader cards, except I'm kind of short. Well, I was going to say I'm shortcutting that a little bit. Then we would go through slow powers, but we don't have any of those. So we go into time passes, which means all of these move to the discard pile. So now we're into round 4, and we've got a big problem on our hands. So let's see what we can do with that. With +1 energy and +1 card play, let's see, wetlands. That would be a Cascade Blight, which would probably mean we just lose the game on this Blight unless we can deal with all 3 of these. And the only way I see us doing that is if we go for major powers here. The question is, do we have powers we can forget? I think we do. So I think we have to go for majors here. River will actually reclaim cards, and River will go for a major power. We need to get a lot of big damage here pronto. 3, 4. First card up is Infinite Vitality. Fast, range 1 from a sacred site. Target land any. Dahan have +4 health while in target land. Whenever Blight would be added to target land, instead leave it on the card. If you have 4 stone, Dahan ignore damage and destruction effects. Remove 1 blight from target or adjacent land, giving stone, leaf, and claw. That could be very useful. Next up, Entwined Power, targeting another spirit. You and target spirit may use each other's presence to target powers. Target spirit gains a power card. You gain one of the power cards they didn't keep, giving a moon, water, and leaf. If you have 2 water and 4 leaves, you and target spirit each gain 3 energy and may gift the other 1 power from hand. Next up, Tsunami. Slow, range 2 from a sacred site, coastal, water and rock, taking 6 energy though. 2 fear, 8 damage, but destroy 2 Dahan. If you have 3 water and 2 stone, in each other coastal land on the same board, 1 fear, 4 damage, and destroy 1 Dahan. And Winds of Rust and Atrophy. Air, water, and claw. Speed fast, range 3 from a sacred site, target any. 1 fear and defend 6. Replace 1 city with a town, or 1 town with an explorer. If you have 3 air, 3 water, and 2 claws, repeat this power. I think the power we're forgetting is Boon of Vigor. So the question is, which major do we want? Well, we're ravaging wetlands here. Yeah, we're ravaging wetlands. So I think we probably need this to be fast, too. I think we're going to go for... we need to be able to stop at least 2 of them from ravaging. River's going to lose a presence anyway we do this, but I think we're going to take Tsunami. So we get 2, 3 energy, and we have Spirit, and River will have 3 card plays. Lightning, I think, is... I think Lightning has to reclaim cards, even though we're going to need a lot more energy for this. Does Lightning have a power that we can forget? I think we can probably... This is not good at all. I think we'll go for 1 more minor. 3, 4. So first up for Lightning. Reaching Grasp. Sun, air, and water. Fast power, target any spirit. Target spirit gains +2 power with all their powers. Next up, Call to Tend. It's slow, range 1, targeting a Dahan. Giving a water, leaf, and a claw. Remove 1 blight or push up to 3 Dahan. Drought. Destroy 3 towns. Giving sun, fire, and stone. Slow, range 1, target land any. Destroy 3 towns, 1 damage to each town or city, add 1 blight. If you have 3 sun, destroy a city. And Gift of Living Energy. At fast, any spirit, giving sun, fire, and leaf. Target spirit gains 1 energy, +1 spirit if target, +1 energy if target spirit is not yourself. If you have at least 2 sacred sites, target spirit gains +1 energy. I think we're going to take... this is bad. I think we're going to take Reaching Grasp. As much as I don't like that. And then gets 2, 3 energy and has 3 card plays. We probably need to trigger an innate here. Probably need to trigger a lightning innate at the very least. And we need 3 fire and 2 air to do it. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a problem. Well, if we're trying to stop wetlands from ravaging... range 1 of a sacred site. I'm thinking how I want to do this. So I think for River first, that's going to cost 6. Let's go... We'll use Tsunami for 6. We've got 3 card plays. Let's go Tsunami for 6. Flash Floods for 2. And then do we have a 0 cost power that we can potentially benefit from? I think we do. We'll use River's Bounty with that, which will trigger which will trigger River's innate powers. As for Lightning, okay, so the plan here is River's going to deal with I think all of these are going to chain Blight no matter how we do it. Yikes, this has the potential to be a huge problem for us. As for lightning, we need to be able to take out the... I think if river deals with... That needs to be one from a sacred site, so I think that... I don't... Well, I might be able to reach one of these. Let's see, that's range 2 from a sacred site. We're probably not going to be able to pull this off, but let's give it a shot anyway. So we'll pay 3 energy for Shatter Homesteads, Rouse the Trees and Stones, and I need both of those to be fast, so I need Lightning's Boon as well, which will also trigger Lightning's innate power. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into our fast power phase. We'll start off with Lightning's Boon from Lightning, which means River can use 2 slow powers as if they were fast. So, we're going to use, and then we're actually going to use all of Lightning's fast powers. So we're going to use all of our powers as fast because we have enough air, I believe. No, we don't have enough air to use all of them as fast, actually. So, we're going to use Shatter Homesteads as fast, which will be a fear and destroy a town. We'll take out this town to generate another fear. And that has to be within range 1 of a sacred site, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I may have just cost myself here. Actually, let's use that instead to pick off this town, even though we're not going to be able to get to it. We'll have to use the innate to get to this town, which will still get us to the same place ultimately. Then using 2 as a fast, we'll use Flash Floods to deal 1 damage here, and then since it's coastal, plus 1 damage. We'll take out this town to generate another fear, see if we can maybe get to a fear card that way. Then within range 2 of a coastal land, we'll target within range 2 of a sacred site. We're going to be building on coastals, so I think we're going to flatten... Well, we're not going to just lose because of Chain Blight, thankfully. We're going to flatten... Where are we going to flatten? I think we're going to flatten this land. So we'll take out the city, which will generate 2 fear, giving us another fear card. That might help us out. Then clearing all of these out. Then we'll use River's Bounty to gather 2 more Dahan. Targeting this land, we'll gather them here. We'll add another Dahan and gain an energy. We're not in a great position, but I think we're not just about to lose this game, which could have been catastrophic, which could still be catastrophic potentially. But we're all done with fast powers at this point. So now we go into our Blighted Island effect, which we have none. Fear effect, we're still in fear level 1, which means we have Defend 2 in all lands with presence. That's actually huge right now. So we defend 2 in all lands with presence. So we defend here. Defend here. This is the most important one because that defend came up huge because now we won't get any blight on the board thanks to that. So now we go into our Ravage actions. So this one does 1 damage. That's not enough to blight. This one's defended. This one's defended for 2, which will be enough to take out a Dahan and lose a presence, which will put a blight out. I lied. We are putting 1 out. But there's enough Dahan there to fight back and take out everything there, which will generate another fear. Then we're building on coastal lands. This one's going to get us a town. This one doesn't build. This one gets a town. 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 And nothing. And then we're next exploring. Mountains. That relates to a specific event tags. So any mountains adjacent to, I believe it's mountains, I believe it's anything adjacent to cities and towns get either, or is adjacent to a town, city, or ocean. So this one gets an explorer. This one gets an explorer. This one gets an explorer. And this one does not. So we're fortunate there. Then we've got our slow powers. We'll use rouse the trees and stones. For 2 damage, we have to be within range 1 of a sacred site. So it'll be this town getting taken out. And we'll push an explorer. We'll push him here. So the ravage isn't as dangerous. But we still have a lot of problems on our hands here. We're getting ready to ravage coastal lands next. So we need to be able to stop that if we can. But with that said, now we go into time passes where everything moves to the discard pile. We're heading into round 5, and I don't see how we survive this game, but let's give it our best shot and see what we can do. When we used Tsunami to flatten here, we should have also destroyed 2 to Han, but there was only 1 in the land, so that's all we took out there. So looking at our current situation, I think River can cover these 2 lands, which leaves this one undefended, which would blight. So we're going to be building on mountains. Well, actually, yeah, we're going to be building on... We're going to be ravaging coastal lands. So we've got these 2 covered, I think. Looking at... Yeah, we can cover those 2. Actually, can we cover them? I think so. We cannot let this ravage if we can avoid it, because if we do, the Cascade Blight would just have us lose the game. So we need to deal with that, preferably by taking out that city. So I think we're going to have to add a presence and go for a major power. So we're going to add a presence within range 2. We're going to add a presence here and go for a major. We'll forget Wash Away, even though I think forgetting that could be a mistake. What I'm looking for is basically like a big haymaker. 3, 4. I need a lot of damage here is what I need. First up... Indomitable Claim, giving Sun and Stone, costing 4, speed of 1, fast power, range of 1, range 1 from any presence, target land any. Add 1 presence in target land even if you normally could not due to land type. Defend 20. We might need that. Next up... Blazing Renewal. Target spirit adds 2 of their destroyed presence into a single land, up to two spaces away from your presence. If any presence was added, 2 damage to each town or city in that land. If you have 3 fire, 3 stone, 2 leaf, 4 damage in that land, giving fire, stone, leaf. Fast speed, target any spirit. That could be tempting as well. Next up... Terrifying Nightmares. It's costing 4, giving Moon and Air. Fast, range 2 from a presence, target land any. To fear, push up to 4 explorers and towns. If you have 4 moons, +4 fear. And Accelerated Rot. Slow power, range 2, targeting jungle or wetland. 2 fear, 4 damage. If you have 3 sun, 2 water, 3 leaf, +5 damage, remove a blight. So which one of those do we want? Well, we're getting 4 energy anyway. That would be the Haymaker I would need, but actually a couple of these would be pretty big Haymakers. I think we'll take... I think we'll take Blazing Renewal. I realize I'm not in a great position no matter how I do this. We might be able to survive this, though. As for Lightning, Lightning is going to need... I think Lightning's going to need to take Presence and Energy. We'll take that. We'll add another Energy Presence to the board, and we'll put this down... We'll put it here and make a sacred site. But I don't think we're going to be able to survive this, ultimately. Actually, if we put that down... That's got to be Presence 1. Yeah, this isn't great, and I think we're just up against it at this point. I think we're probably going to lose the game here, but we'll see what happens. So River's going to play Blazing Renewal for 5. And I don't think we can stop it, so we'll play Shadows of the Burning Forest as well. As for Lightning, Lightning gets 4 energy as well. I'm playing Lightning far more aggressively than I normally do, so I think that's probably causing some... I'm playing Lightning more aggressively than I normally do. I need to show more patience with Lightning is what I need to do. But hindsight, as they say, right? Okay, so I think we're going to play out all of her power, all of Lightning's powers for 3 energy. Unfortunately, I don't think any of them are going to help us, but we'll see. So we'll start off with Lightning can use both of it. There's slow powers as fast. We'll start off with Reaching Grasp, giving River +2 range with their powers. Then we'll use Harbingers of the Lightning to push 2 Dahan in here. No. Yeah, I think we're just going to lose no matter how I do this. So we're going to push 2 Dahan here, which will generate another Fear. Then we'll do 1 damage to each investigator, or each investigator, I just did it. Each invader. Unfortunately, I can't reach here. And I don't think I can't put a presence down to get to it, so I kind of hosed myself on that one. So I guess we'll make the 1 damage go right here to each invader. It's not going to help me ultimately, but we'll use Blazing Renewal to add 2 destroyed presence here, which will do 2 damage to each city and town, which will destroy that, and that will take 2 damage, which I believe goes like that. That'll give me another Fear card. And use Raging Storm. Okay, then we go into Ravage. Nothing, 2 damage, which is enough to blight. 4 damage, which is enough to blight, which would lose that presence, and the blighted card is now empty, so we've lost the game. With that, let's wrap this video up. Tonight was most definitely not my night of Spirit Island. I do enjoy this game, but I definitely need to spend a bit more time with this one solo before it gets back to the channel. So that will do it for this playthrough of Spirit Island. Busy weekend coming up on the channel. Tomorrow we're going to have the end of November recap. Then we're starting into then Friday we'll have a couple videos on the channel. We're going to have the Investigator intro for Christmas in Arkham, and we'll probably be playing Mag 23 Guadalcanal. I'll be going on a little bit of a day trip. Actually, related to that day trip, before I continue plugging videos, I am planning on getting rid of a lot of games at Noble Knight Games on Friday. I'll pin a comment to this video with a list of the games that I'm planning on getting rid of. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me at my email on the channel, and maybe we can work out a deal to sell those. Otherwise, on Friday, those are going to Noble Knight Games. As for back to the videos on the channel, I mentioned Friday we'll have the Investigator intro for Christmas in Arkham, and then we'll be playing Mag 23 Guadalcanal later in the afternoon. Saturday, we're starting Mystical Munchies with our new cookbook, but I'll talk more about that during the end of November recap. And Sunday, we have the first leg of Christmas in Arkham as we play Eldritch Horror. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.